My name is Emma. I was born in a small town in Ohio. My parents spoke only Spanish, but we moved to the U.S. when I was 7. I remember my first day at school in America. I couldn't understand a word. I felt lost, like I was in a world where no one could hear me. I cried in the bathroom because I couldn't ask for help. My teacher, Mrs. Johnson, noticed my struggle. She sat with me during lunch and spoke slowly. She smiled, and I tried to smile back, but my heart was heavy. She pointed to a book and said, "Start here." That was my first step toward learning English. Now, I want to share with you my 10 tips to improve your English. Each tip is a memory of my journey, a moment that helped me grow. English changed my life, and it can change yours too. The first tip is simple: start small. Mrs. Johnson gave me a children's book. I remember feeling silly reading it because I was already 7, but it was easy. The words were short, and the pictures helped me understand. One page at a time, I began to learn. You don't need to rush. The biggest journeys begin with small steps, Mrs. Johnson used to say, and she was right. Tip 2: speak every day. I was shy. I didn't want to talk because I was afraid of making mistakes. One day, at the park, a girl named Lily asked if I wanted to play. I wanted to say yes, but I didn't know how. She held my hand and said, "It's okay. You can speak." Her kindness gave me courage. From that day, I promised myself I would speak, even if my words weren't perfect. "It's okay to be wrong," Lily would say. "Just try." My third tip is about listening. I would sit in front of the TV and watch cartoons. At first, I didn't understand anything, but I listened carefully. I started catching a few words like hello or bye one day. I was watching my favorite show, and suddenly I understood a whole sentence. I cried because I felt like I was finally part of this new world. Listening is learning. Even when it feels hard, don't give up. The fourth tip is to write your thoughts. I had a little diary. At the end of each day, I would write one sentence, just one. It was simple: today was good, or I am happy. Over time, my sentences got longer. I wrote about my day, my dreams, and my fears. Writing helped me clear my mind, and it made me love English more. It was like my heart could finally speak. Tip 5: don't be afraid to ask for help. There was a time when I couldn't understand the homework. I felt embarrassed, thinking everyone else knew the answer. But then, my friend Jack said, "No one knows everything." Asking for help is okay, so I went to my teacher and said, "I don't understand this." She smiled and explained it to me slowly. That moment taught me that it's okay not to know everything. The sixth tip is to read out loud. I used to read in my head, but one day, Mrs. Johnson asked me to read a story out loud in front of the class. My hands were shaking, and I thought I might cry. But I started reading, and to my surprise, my voice got stronger. The words felt more real when I spoke them. From that day, I read everything out loud: books, signs, even cereal boxes. My confidence grew. Tip 7: Learn from your mistakes. Once, I called my teacher mistake instead of Mrs., and everyone laughed. I was so embarrassed, but Mrs. Johnson said, "Mistakes are how we learn." I still remember that moment, and I smile. Each mistake is a lesson. Don't be afraid of them. They make you better. Tip 8 is about finding what you love. I loved music, so I started listening to songs in English. I would sing along, even if I didn't understand all the words. Music made learning fun. Whether it's songs, books, or movies, find what you enjoy and learn through it. Passion makes the process easier. The 9th tip is never give up. There were days when I wanted to quit. English felt too hard, and I thought I would never be able to speak fluently. But every time I felt like giving up, I remembered why I started. I wanted to understand the world around me. I wanted to talk to new people, make friends, and be a part of something bigger. So, I kept going. And you should, too. Finally, my 10th tip is to believe in yourself. There was a day when I spoke to a group of people without thinking twice. I wasn't scared anymore. I had found my voice, and it felt strong. English gave me that. It gave me confidence and opened doors I never thought possible. If you believe you can, you will, Mrs. Johnson used to say, and she was right. Learning English wasn't easy. It was full of tears, doubts, and fears. But every word I learned made my world bigger. Now, I can talk to people from different countries, read books I never dreamed of, and express myself in ways I couldn't before. If you are struggling with English, remember this: you are not alone. Everyone starts somewhere, and every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be scared, but don't stop. Keep going. Because English, like any language, is not just about words. It's about connection. It's about finding your voice in a world full of voices. And once you find it, you'll never want to let it go. So tell me, what is your next step in learning English? What has been your biggest challenge? Let's keep learning together. I believe in you.